The delicate ecosystem of the female body operates on a principle of exquisite balance, a balance that naturally shifts as we journey through life. After the age of 60, hormonal changes, particularly the decline in estrogen, can alter this internal environment in ways that are rarely discussed. This can lead to a quiet frustration, a subtle worry about personal freshness that can begin to chip away at your confidence. It's not about a lack of cleanliness. In fact, for many women, the more they try to fix the issue, the more persistent it becomes. This is a challenge that lives in the shadows, making us feel isolated. But I want you to know that understanding this change is the first step toward reclaiming a sense of ease and comfort in your own skin. Hello, I'm Dr. Emily Hart, and for over 15 years, I've had the privilege of helping women navigate the changes in their bodies with clarity and compassion. This channel is a safe space where we can talk openly about these topics, free from judgment. If that sounds like a community you'd like to be a part of, I invite you to subscribe. And to get us started, I would love to see where this community of strong women comes together. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? It's always a joy to see how far and wide our circle reaches. Today we are talking about a topic that I know is on the minds of many, but is so often whispered about: vaginal odor. It's a deeply personal concern, and my goal here is to replace any worry you might have with empowering, science-backed knowledge and gentle, practical solutions. Let's begin by understanding the beautiful science of our bodies. Our first and most important principle is to protect your body's natural defense system, its pH balance. Many of us were taught that squeaky clean is the goal, but when it comes to feminine health, that idea can actually cause the very problem we're trying to solve. I remember a patient of mine, a wonderful woman named Margaret. Margaret was a meticulous person. She took great pride in her home, her garden, and her personal care. She came to me deeply distressed because she was showering twice a day, using a heavily perfumed antibacterial soap, and yet she was constantly battling a mild but persistent odor that made her feel self-conscious around her husband and her bridge club friends. She felt she was failing at being clean. The truth is, Margaret was being too clean. Here's the simple science. The vagina is home to a brilliant community of helpful bacteria, primarily a type called lactobacilli. These good bacteria produce lactic acid, which keeps the vaginal environment acidic, with a low pH of around 3.8 to 4.5. Think of it like a beautiful protected garden. This acidic environment is the perfect soil for healthy flora to thrive and acts as a natural barrier, preventing odor-causing bacteria and yeast from overgrowing. After menopause, as estrogen levels fall, we often have fewer of these protective lactobacilli. This can cause the pH to rise, making the environment less acidic and more vulnerable. When Margaret used that harsh, alkaline soap, she was essentially washing away her garden's protective fence every single day, allowing weeds to take root. The solution is wonderfully simple. Work with your body, not against it. Your external vulvar area is the only part that needs cleansing. For this, choose a cleanser that is specifically designed to be pH balanced, completely free of fragrances, dyes, and harsh detergents. In many cases, warm water is all you truly need. The vagina itself is self-cleaning. You never ever need to use a douche. Douching is like setting off a fire hose in that delicate garden. It blasts away everything, both good and bad, leaving the area completely unprotected. By making this one small change, Margaret found that within a couple of weeks, the issue she'd been fighting for months simply faded away. She felt an immense sense of relief, not just physically but emotionally. She learned that supporting her body's wisdom was far more powerful than trying to control it. That is true empowerment. This brings us to our second point, something that provides relief all day long: choosing to wear breathable fabrics. It's a solution that's as simple as getting dressed in the morning, but its impact is profound. Let's talk about Susan, a vibrant woman in her early 70s who had taken up pickleball with a passion. She loved the sport, but she noticed that on the days she played, She felt damp and less than fresh by the afternoon, a feeling that lingered uncomfortably. She wore modern, synthetic athletic leggings because they were stylish and offered good support, but they were contributing to her discomfort. The science here is all about airflow. Think about the difference between covering a bowl of fresh fruit with plastic wrap versus a cotton cloth. The plastic wrap traps all the moisture and heat, creating a humid environment where things can spoil quickly. Synthetic fabrics like nylon, spandex, and polyester act much like that plastic wrap. They are not breathable, so they trap heat and moisture from sweat right up against your skin. This warm, damp environment is the ideal breeding ground for the kind of bacteria that produce odor. It's not a reflection of your hygiene. It's simply a matter of physics and biology. The solution is to let your skin breathe. Make the switch to underwear made from 100% cotton. Cotton is a natural fiber that is soft and, most importantly, breathable. It wicks moisture away from the skin and allows air to circulate, keeping you drier and cooler throughout the day. If you enjoy activities like Susan, change out of your synthetic workout clothes and shower as soon as you can afterward. Another wonderful tip is to consider sleeping without underwear at night, or with loose cotton pajama bottoms, to give your skin a chance to breathe freely for several hours. When Susan switched to cotton underwear for her daily life and made a point of changing right after her pickleball games, that feeling of afternoon discomfort vanished. She could fully enjoy her active, social life without that nagging worry in the back of her mind. This is about making small, mindful choices that bring you a world of comfort. Before we move on, if this conversation is resonating with you, please consider giving this video a like. It helps our community grow and tells me that this is the kind of supportive content you want to see more of. Our third area of focus is proactive moisture management. This goes beyond fabric and sweat and touches on another common reality for many of us: small bladder leaks. This is incredibly common, and yet the shame surrounding it can be immense. I think of Helen, a retired schoolteacher who cherished her long daily walks. But she found herself cutting them short because she was so worried about odor from the combination of exertion-induced sweat and the occasional tiny leak when she coughed or laughed. She felt her world and her freedom was shrinking. The science is straightforward. Both sweat and urine contain compounds that, when broken down by bacteria on the skin, can create odor. Urine, in particular, contains urea, which breaks down into ammonia, creating a very distinct and unwelcome smell. When moisture from either source is trapped against the skin for hours, it's inevitable that an odor will develop. This is not a moral failing or a hygiene issue. It is a simple chemical reaction. So, how do we manage this proactively? First, after you bathe or shower, take an extra moment to gently pat the entire external genital area completely dry with a soft, clean towel. Don't rush this step. If you experience light leaks, please do not use conventional scented panty liners. The perfumes can be incredibly irritating, and the plastic backing traps moisture. Instead, look for unscented, breathable liners or pads specifically designed for bladder leakage. The most important part of this strategy is to change them frequently, well before they feel saturated. For Helen, this was a game changer. We talked, and she started carrying a couple of extra liners in her walking bag. Partway through her walk, she'd stop at the park restroom, use a cleansing wipe, and put on a fresh liner. Took 2 minutes. That simple routine gave her the confidence to walk as long as she wanted. She got her freedom back. You are in control of your comfort, and there are tools available to help you live your life fully and without fear. Finally, and this is crucial, we must know the difference between a normal age-related change in scent and an odor that signals an infection. It is your right and your power to be informed about your own body. I once had a patient, Carol, who noticed a new, distinctly fishy odor that she'd never experienced before. Embarrassed, she tried to handle it herself at home. She bought an over-the-counter douching kit, hoping to flush out the problem. Of course, this only made it significantly worse, and by the time she came to see me, She was miserable with both the odor and irritation. Here is the essential medical knowledge you need. The most common cause of a strong, fishy odor, often accompanied by a thin, grayish-white discharge, is not a hygiene issue. It's a medical condition called bacterial vaginosis or BV. This is an imbalance where the less desirable bacteria have overgrown the good, protective lactobacilli. A yeast infection, on the other hand, typically presents with a thick, white, cottage cheese-like discharge and intense itching, though it usually doesn't have a strong odor. Trying to treat one as the other will not work. And as we discussed, douching disrupts the pH so profoundly that it can escalate the infection. The solution here is not a home remedy. It is your doctor. If you notice a sudden, strong, or fundamentally different odor, especially one that is fishy or accompanied by changes in discharge, itching, or burning, please make an appointment. There is absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. As doctors, we see this every single day. Getting a proper diagnosis is the fastest and most effective path to relief. Carol was diagnosed with BV, and a simple course of prescription medication cleared it up completely. She learned a vital lesson. Advocating for your health is the ultimate act of self-care. You do not have to be a detective and solve these mysteries alone. Partnering with your healthcare provider is a sign of strength. So let's leave our time together today on a note of pure encouragement. Your body has carried you through a lifetime of experiences, of joys and challenges. It deserves your kindness, your respect, and your gentle care. These changes are not a sign that your body is failing you. They are a normal part of a new chapter. You are wise, you are resilient, and you are more than capable of navigating this season with grace. You have the power to feel comfortable, confident, and vibrantly alive. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. What was one thing you heard that resonated with you? Sharing your insight in the comments can be a wonderful way to help another woman in this community feel seen and understood. Until next time, be well and be kind to yourself.